Case Studies. There's a hill, soil and change. Aerial extent and geographical information. As you can see on this map, this hill is located across Central Africa, and it is the transition region between the Sahara Desert and the Sudanian Savanna, a belt up to 1,100 kilometers wide and 5,400 kilometers long. It is over 3 million square kilometers, and the land consists of a mostly flat, semi-arid landscape that serves as an ecological transition zone between the Sahara Desert and the Sudanian Savanna. It extends over international borders while affecting Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Chad, Gambia, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Nigeria, and Senegal. Reasons for soil degradation. Overcultivation. Continually used for crops, the land does not receive sufficient time for natural recovery and therefore begins to lose its nutrients as the quality of the land decreases. In the end, the land turns into dust. Overgrazing. This occurs when animals in certain regions eat all the available vegetables, leaving bare soil. And both overgrazing and cultivation are a result of the overuse of the land and can result in desertification. Desertification occurs when already fragile land in arid and semi-arid areas is overexploited. Deforestation. Rapidly cutting trees to meet the growing demands of the economy and the forest industry results in little to no trees protecting the soils of many regions. This means the soil is exposed to the effects of wind and rain. We have climate change, where the effects of climate change cause a decrease in rainfall, coupled with an increase in temperature, provoking the death of vegetation. Also, another cause could be high-pressure areas located in a high-pressure zone from the Hadley and Farrell cells in the tricellular model. This results in a dry, stable condition. Upwelling of cold water. Winds to the west of the Sahel region lose their moisture and therefore have little to no precipitation once they reach land. This is a cause of aridity in the western regions of the soil. Mid-continent. Winds that reach the center of a continent are already dry by the time they have traveled over large amounts of land. This is a problem for the mid-continent countries of Sahel. Intense rainfall. Flash floods and intense periods of rainfall can contribute to soil erosion. Population growth has put a strain on resources, as many people are needed to be supplied with food, resulted in further overcultivation. The population is rapidly growing, doubling every 20 years, and the 3% population growth exceeded the 2% growth in food production, contributing to the vulnerability of the Sahel region to a drought crisis. Colonialism resulted in borders creating and people settling in villages. This caused less nomadic travelers and extra pressure on land in concentrated areas. Socioeconomic and demographic effects of degradation. In 2008, the Food and Agriculture Organization stated 80% of land in Sahel was degraded. As of 2015, there are 20 million, 1 out of 7, facing food insecurities and 5.8 million malnourished children, which is 1 out of 5. There's conflict, which is a major issue in Sahel, as there are 2.8 million people displaced and 940,000 refugees. This is largely because of the events in northeast Nigeria. Grain production has decreased 36%, and in Senegal, the production of groundnuts, a significant industry, is down by 59%. Overall, there has been a 25% drop in agriculture production in the Sahel area since the 2010 drought. Food prices have risen between 20% and 60% in the last 5 years. 4 million hectares of land is infested with locusts in West Africa, and a locust swarm eats enough food for 2,500 people every day. The political unrest of these infested nations, which include Chad, Niger, Mali, results in these swarms going untreated and infesting other nations. It is estimated about $2 billion is needed to address the ongoing conditions from the recent droughts and degradation. So that finishes everything up for the Sahel case study, and we're going to move along to the India case study. India case study. Soil and land degradation in India is a serious concern for the future economic, social, and environmental sustainability. The extent of degradation in India. Of the cultivable land, 144 million hectares, a staggering 56%, which roughly amounts to 80.6 million hectares, of land has been already degraded, with dense forests reduced to a mere 11% of the total area of India. In India, the person-to-land ratio is roughly 0.48 hectares, the lowest in the world. So causes of soil degradation specifically in India. Water erosion. 25% of land area is affected from water erosion. This is a growing problem for red and lateritic soils in southeastern India, causing 40 tons per hectare of topsoil loss. Another cause is overgrazing, where we leave the soil bare and subject to effects from the wind. In India, 50 million hectares of land is affected from wind erosion. The process of wind and soil erosion causes an estimated 5.53 million tons of macronutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, which are key to the health of soil. Acidification of soil. Nitrogenous fertilizer, which has caused acidification. This lowers macronutrients, which are important to the development of crops and to have fertile soil. Solutions. It is important for India to have sustainable soils when they are dependent on agriculture for their economy. Adopting solutions such as different farming methods, limiting pesticides, replanting trees, and other solutions discussed in that section are crucial for the Indian government to implement before it's too late.